Hi, and welcome to Working the Yard with Will. And so I'm out here in the backyard finishing up a little bit of a couple projects, but uh, I owe it to you guys. I haven't done an update in a little while on the garden or the Japanese garden or the flower beds leading to the Japanese garden in a while. So let's check it out and see what the plans are for this fall when things get a little cooler. Like I said, my main projects were chipping green, early in the year, chipping green, overseeding or renovation of the grass in the front yard and everything out of the backyard, and then doing a little drainage work. So let's flip around and see what we got going on. Okay, so just a real recap here. We've already worked the chipping green out. We may have to do some future renovation stuff in a little bit as far as drainage concerned, but I think what we have going right now, or what I have going right now, should work out pretty good. As you can already tell, I've already taken the area down where the drain is around, and I've already started to aerate around here. Well, that's what little tiny holes are for. And keep in mind, the middle section is all Bermuda, and around the outside is going to be similar to the front yard, which is that Kentucky bluegrass, tall fescue, and a perennial rye mix. Let's walk back over here to the garden, and as you see, there are quite a few things still blooming. I think what's happening here with these roses, they're so leggy because they're definitely looking for the sun. And so all this area you see back here is something I'm gonna have to tackle later this fall. I foresee myself cleaning up some of this debris. Some of this stuff has fallen down, some of it I've cut down, but a lot of these trees you see leaning here and there, vines and all those different things. I'm gonna try my best to clean it up. I believe this is another black walnut tree that you see right here. Let's see if we can get you zoomed out a little bit. And that big vine you see sticking out right here, that was once a poison ivy oak vine. And so as I was working through here throughout the fall and last winter, went ahead and cut off some of that stuff. But my goal is to kind of have all of this area open up, which will bring a lot more sun from this area down into the garden, which in turn I believe should give those roses a nice amount of water, or a nice amount of sun, so they won't be so leggy next season. So we still have our containers right here. Remember, these are the two blueberries that are in the front, two blackberries next to the side there. And as I was walking around the other day, I noticed we still have a few tomatoes that are still going, but we also have, this one didn't quite get the time it needed to germinate, but check that out. We got a little watermelon down there. It is definitely late in the season for it to get to mature size, but flower beds need a little touch up. Once again, these are, I believe these are double knockout roses pink, but you see how leggy they are, right? They're definitely leggy because they're trying to reach up for the sun to get their last couple blooms in. Same here, leggy. And I said, once I clean up some of these trees, like this skinny pawpaw tree, that's another pawpaw tree right here. I got plenty of pawpaw trees that are up over here in this area that I'm gonna keep clear. Keep that area back there, this area back here pretty much as you see it. But everything else back here, with the exception of this black walnut tree, is probably gonna come down, or at least at a minimum, I'm going to take the limbs up as high as I can take it to get more sun down here into the garden. This fall garden is coming through here soon. Let's walk into here and see what we got going on. Okay, so the banana peppers still producing a little bit of fruit. And this, believe it or not, is a cherry tomato plant. I just had some left over, and some seeds left over, and I decided to throw it in the ground and see what happens. And they're getting a lot of foliage, a lot of growth, but no cherry tomatoes yet. Once again, I do believe this is because this area just didn't get adequate enough sun for all the sun-loving plants that are back here. And I could tell that somebody's been visiting my carrots. Look at all those tops that are gone, down to the nub. He even gotten to the point where, look at this one. He's pulled it up out the ground. I hope they don't discover that these are actually carrots down here, or I'll definitely be in trouble. Deer, most likely. Deer or even rabbits coming in there and chewing those tops off. Yeah, I'll say it's rabbit, because I look down in here and all those tops are missing as well. These are all carrots down here. I guess I really don't mind if they chew the tops of them, as long as they don't pull them up. Looks like all of my mint is starting to fade away. We actually harvest a good amount of this mint. My wife tried some out into a tea. She said it was really good. My other experiment here with the cucumbers. Gotta forgive me, folks. I just didn't have the time to dedicate to this garden, and it wasn't on a watering system either. It was just kind of getting water where it could when it rained. But you see, they're still producing a few things. Tomatoes. And if you look a little closer down here, I do believe we got a green pepper or two. Yeah, let's see if we can get into that. Yeah, one green pepper down there. Maybe two green peppers down in there. So yeah, the next year the plan is for this area to definitely get revived, rethought out. Japanese garden for right now. Like I said, I just have these, I would say, my anchoring trees in place. You know, my Leland cypress here that's giving me a tree border all the way around. I have these maples here, which I think I need to get them out of the pots because they're starting to get a little scorched. I still have this area here that hadn't done much with, other than put down these white azaleas, which they're gaining some size. I'll post a picture of how that used to look. Some of these trees are still looking good. The pawpaw, the Scots pom-pom trees. This Germain gyration is a little scorched, but I also see some new leaves coming in. So I definitely give this a lot more attention this fall. This is a redbud tree here. As I'm walking across this area that's going to be my rock bridge, I'm feeling some slight indentations under my feet, meaning I believe that I have a mole that's traveling back and forth. It's an orangella. Oh, we got something on here that I don't want. This little caterpillar here, he looks nice and friendly and fluffy, but you leave that guy on there, he will sit there and chew stuff apart. So let's get him over there. You can go chew on some of that stuff. I wish you'd chew on poison ivy. That'd be nice. And speaking of poison ivy, I actually read somewhere that the best way to get rid of poison ivy, if you don't want to do the herbicide method, which is, you know, like your typical Roundup or something like that, you can dig it up, or you can rent some goats. I don't think I'll be renting any goats, but I'm definitely going to try to dig up a lot of this poison ivy I got over here. This is a weeping green Japanese maple. Make sure I got that correct. Yep. Weeping green Japanese maple, and it's actually doing really good. It's spreading out nicely. I'm pretty much just letting these plants go. I have this golden red bug that is definitely getting abused at night by something on all his leaves. Once again, I'm not doing a whole lot with that. Just keep an eye on it. Make sure it's not getting too overboard. And I'll put down some 7 dust on it. It's another pom-pom that's looking good. And of course this Japanese maple over here that's starting to change colors a little bit, going to its fall colors. And so, folks, I got a lot of work to do over here. Eventually it will look as nice as the lower section. But I think my main goal right now is, like I say, getting this grass aerated. I've already cut it a couple times, picked it up, dethatched it a couple times. I'm starting doing some aeration up here. You probably can see the little holes. Come up and down this hill is a challenge, but I'm trying to make it work. And it's coming along nicely. Get this area nice and cleaned up, and then we'll focus on these flower beds. 1, 2, and 3 flower beds. We'll definitely get a makeover. What I'm thinking is actually taking a lot of these perennial hostas, like the guacamole hosta, the patriot hostas, and taking them up and moving them into the Japanese garden. I think they would do well there. I'm going to leave a lot of my azaleas here because I know they're pretty well established. Hostas I don't have an issue moving. For me anyway, hostas move pretty good. Azaleas I haven't tried to move, but just a handful of them, and for the most part they've done pretty good, but I do have 1 or 2 that did not like the transplant. I have these camellias coming in. This is a camellia here, and I have a couple camellias kind of spread out. You'll see those fall colors coming in a little later. And so I'm quite surprised that I'm getting a second bloom from these azaleas. Look at that. Second bloom from this white azalea. Second bloom from this red azalea. This one is actually not red. It is a autumn embers azalea. Let's give me a second bloom. This white azalea is a, get in here, autumn lily azalea. Let's give me a second bloom. Second bloom meaning that these bloomed earlier in the year, and it appears that they're coming in again. This is another autumn embers that's blooming. This is a autumn sangria that's blooming again. This one didn't come back. I think this is one of the transplants that didn't like being moved. I still need to find a home for these guys here. Picked them up on sale. And Coral Bells, Southern Comfort Coral Bells. Need to find a home for those somewhere. I believe this is another autumn lily, but let's check it out. Autumn moonlight. I have to research that. If you guys know, is it in the name autumn moonlight? Does that let me know that it is going to bloom this time of the year? Let's check it out and see what it says. It says it blooms in the spring, summer, and fall. So there you have it, right there. Top line, blooms in the spring, summer, and fall. So that's the reason why I'm getting it. All right, folks. Thanks for watching Working in Your Yard with Will. Once again, this is just kind of like a little recap of what I've been doing up so far this spring and summer, and what I need to do next, which is a lot on this hillside in the Japanese garden. Continue to watch, continue to share, like, comment, and give me feedback on some of the projects I got going on and what you'd like to see more of. Okay, you guys have a good day.